Hello. Welcome back to my channel, Lovely Moments Creating. If you are new here, welcome. Come on in and join the family. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and remember the notification bell so you can be reminded every time I upload a video. My name is Jenny, and on this channel I create lovely DIYs using mostly items that I find at the Dollar Tree. I always try to keep my DIYs budget friendly but easy to do. I hope everyone is well, and I hope everyone is staying safe. In this video, I'm sharing with you some of my Halloween DIYs, so if you want to see what I came up with, then keep watching. Hello my friends, and thank you for watching another video. I am sharing with you 3 Halloween DIYs. Now, I typically do not do Halloween DIYs, but I promised the boys I will give it a try. So for this first DIY, I have 2 of these wooden triangle frames, and these items all came from the Dollar Tree. I also will be using 2 of these half watermelon summer signs that I had in my stash. I also picked up this little witch holding this broom. I have one of these little glass candle holders that come out of the 3-pack. I have some jute cord, and I will be using a couple of these window clings off of this Halloween sheet here. The paints that I'll be using is some of my ink color chalk paint, and I also will be using some of that green acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree. And if you just have a round sign in your stash, you can use that, but I wanted to use these because I like the oval shape that it created. And so once I get it lined up, I'm going to add tape to keep these 2 together so I can glue it. And I also will be covering up this glitter with the tape since it's so much as well. And so now that I covered up the glitter, I'm just going to flip it over and add my glue in between the 2 signs, and then I'm going to fold it back and make sure that everything is tight. And then once I have that glued down, I'm going to make sure I check it and it's all tight. And so now what I'm going to do is take these little triangle wood frames and I'm going to glue these 2 together. And I'm just going to make sure that they lined up correctly. And then I'll press it together. And then once I get that together, I'm going to glue this right in the center, and that's how I'm going to create my witch hat. And I'm just going to line them up by the lines, and I'm just going to make sure I put enough glue. And then I'm just going to add it right in the center, and making sure that that line from the signs match up with the lines from the 2 triangle pieces. And that lets me know that it's even. And so now here's my hat, and I'm just going to go in with that ink color chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the hat black. I really like the shape that the 2 half watermelon signs created because I do like how my hat shape turned out. And I'm just going to cover it all up using this ink color, which is black chalk paint. And so I took that green paint and just kind of dribbled it over this little glass candle holder to make it look like it's just poison dripping. And I decided to pull this spider and these little 2 stems off of that Dollar Tree floral bunch. And what I'm going to do is I'm first going to take that jute cord and I am going to go around the base of this hat, and I'm just trying to create the little ribbon that's usually around the bib. And I wanted to use this jute cord because it has like a straw feel to it, a straw look to it, like broom straw. I just like the look that it gave the hat. And I'm going to go around it with a few layers, and I think that's enough, and I'm just going to cut off the excess. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the spider and the little stems that I pulled off of the little floral bunch. And I'm just going to add my little spider using my hot glue right to the top of the hat. And since this will be a two-sided centerpiece, I will be adding one of these stems on each side of the hat. And so what I'm going to do is add my little candle holder on one side and the witch on the other side, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add these clings to each side of this hat because it is two-sided. And so on one side I have this sign that says the witch is in. This is very cute. I'm just seeing where I'm going to place it, and I am going to add some tacky glue to this because it's a cling, so it's not going to cling to the wood. And then I'm not sure about which cling I'm going to choose for the other side because I'm torn between two. So I'll just figure out which one that I want to use. And so I am going to add this cling here, but I'm sure I'm going to change it. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to turn my witch on because it is motion signal and it lights up and it does make a sound. And I'm going to put my candle holder on the other side. I will be gluing that down, and I'm just going to drop my little tea candle in there. On one side it says the witch is in, and on the other side it says I will be back. I told you I was sick. That is so cute. And so on to the next one. And for this DIY I'm just going to create a little wreath, and I will be using one of those foam wreath rings. I have 2 bunches of the black florals with the spiders. I have some of this ribbon here that I'll be using, and I have 4 packs of these witch hat picks. I also will be using some of that ink chalk painted again because I'm just going to cover the ring. As you can see, I just covered the ring, and I pulled off all of my florals as well as the hats off of the picks. And now what I'm going to do is just wrap a layer or 2 of this ribbon around this ring. You won't be able to see this. I just painted it black, and I'm just adding this see-through ribbon because I didn't want any of that green to show at all. And so now I'm just going to start gluing the hats down to the ring, and I'm just going to glue them right next to each other. The hats will be touching, like the bibs of the hat will be touching, and I'm using all 4 packs because it took 12 to go around. And I'm just adding glue to the hat, and I'm going to glue it right next to each hat until they're all around, and I will be using all 4 packs. And now that that is complete, I'm now just going to go ahead and add my 2 bunches of florals. And I'm going to start at the top. And I'm just going to start gluing down my floral pieces. And I'm not gluing them so close together because I do have the leaves that came on that bunch as well. And I will be using those as filler to just fill in the spots. and I hope you'll be able to get some inspiration from these ideas. I typically do not create Halloween DIYs. We usually don't have them. I did promise the boys, now that I do have a channel, that I will create some Halloween DIYs for them to see. But we do decorate at work, so these probably will end up at the office. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to finish off the florals, and where there are gaps, I will go in with the leaves that I poured off this bunch as well for fillers, and I'm just going to add these in everywhere where there are gaps. And now that that's complete, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and add in my spiders and my little web stems. And the ribbon that I use under these florals, the ones that the ribbon that I wrapped around the ring wreath, it has like a webby type feel to it. So these stems can just stick on there without using any glue. I may have to add a little glue here and there, but for the most part, they kind of cling on to that ribbon. I'm just tacking down a little jute cord so I can hang my ribbon. And this is complete, and that's how it turned out. Very simple. And now I'm going to get started on the final DIY for today. I have this cute little jar sign. I will be using some of these little small letters and some of this sheer black ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I saved one of those little stems off that bunch, and I will be using some of that ink color chalk paint and that green acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree as well. I'm just pulling all of the embellishment off this sign, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sand block that I purchased from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to rough this sign up a little bit, trying to give it some texture and remove all of the little extra pieces. This is the color paints that I'll be using for the DIY. So what I'm going to do now is just finish pulling off this, and then I'm going to take the little sand block, and after I sand off those little pieces, I'm going to try to rough this up a little bit, because I want to bring a little texture to the front. I don't want it to be so smooth, because I will be creating a little poison bottle. So now what I'm going to do is just take this green acrylic paint, and I'm going to give it 2 coats. Now I'm just dry brushing over with that ink color chalk paint, which is the actual color black, and I'm just going to dry brush over that green color. I really liked it, these little jar signs that I found at the Dollar Tree. I actually picked up a couple of these, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that sheer ribbon, and I am going to wrap it around the top part of this jar, and I'm going in between the grooves. I'm just adding a little hot glue so I can tack the ribbon down, and I'm not keeping it flat straight. I'm actually bunching it up, as you can see, and I'm going around it, and I'm going to go around the next groove too, crossing over in the back, and then I'm just going to tack that down with some glue and cut off the excess ribbon. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with the little letters from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to spell out the word poison. I will Mod Podge over those letters later just to make sure that they stay on there. And now that that's complete, all I have to do is add in a little stem, and I'm going to add it right above, in between the two ribbons that I added, like right in the middle where I crossed the over at. And once I do that, this DIY will be complete. I didn't want to do much to this jar. And we're going to take another look at all three of the DIYs that I created today. And here's the wreath. So simple, but I really like how it turned out. I like the simplicity of the poison jar, and I didn't paint the little glass candle holder. I just drizzled the paint on it, and I love this witch hat. It says the witch is in, and this is so cute as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. And as always, let me know what you think about these 3 Halloween DIYs in a comment box down below. I really think they came out really simple, but they're really cute. Not spooky, but cutesy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box down below. And I like the other side of this hat that says be back later. I told you I was sick, and the witch is facing the other way. As always, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.